The Fairgrounds Square Mall has itself become a ghost. It was just demolished over what will inevitably go down as the infamous summer of 2020. The mall was on its last leg for years, and it only seemed fitting that it would meet its end in such a year as this one has been. However, if you spent any time working there over the course of its 40-year existence, you may have heard or seen things that you couldn't explain. Before the mall was constructed in 1980, the land was a part of the Reading Fairgrounds and Speedway. The Fairgrounds history dates back to 1916, so if there were any spirits haunting the mall, it was likely that this place was their origins. There were at least 3 documented deaths that occurred on the racetrack in the second half of the 20th century. On Saturday, June 11, 1966, a race held at the Fairgrounds Speedway would prove to be tragic. 2 racers were fatally injured when their cars collided between the first and second turns on the second lap of the race. The final resting points of their cars were close, if not within, the future walls of the mall, roughly around the center court and what would eventually be Burlington Coat Factory. On October 29, 1978, the Schmitz 200 race was supposed to mark the last event for the Reading Fairgrounds Speedway. The event would prove to be devastating for more reason than that. Running back in the field, 33-year-old Michael Gerbach got tangled in traffic and flipped down the front stretch on the 99th lap. His roof was facing oncoming competitors, and he was hit by another driver. He succumbed to his injuries a month later in the hospital. This race, however, did not end up being the last, as the spring of 1979 season saw a few more races before the mall developers got the final go-ahead from local government to demolish the grandstands. Luckily, that day did not end up being the very last memory for Reading Fairgrounds Speedway fans. The 1980s paved the way for the growing retail world of the new shopping mall. People who have worked in the now defunct shopping mall have stories about the strange things they have heard during their time there. The following stories are first-hand accounts from 2 of BERKS Nostalgia's Facebook followers. I can tell you the stories I know of at Record Town. We had weird things like we would hear people looking through albums or CDs, but nobody was there. That happened often. Once a coworker of mine was up at the cash register at the front. She saw someone dressed in all white walk into our back room. When she went to investigate it, nobody was there. Another follower commented in reply that those were similar to his experiences at your place. We would often catch a glimpse of someone walking around at night after close. The one waitress had a table move right in front of her, and she was so scared she had to leave. We would also hear a faint phantom PA announcer talking, and that was heard many times by all of us. Also, we would see glasses move across the bar after close, and the usual doors closing and whispers. Perhaps these experiences were the footsteps of racers and the echoes of the announcers reverberating through space and time from the days of the Reading Fairgrounds Speedway.